everybody, to another episode of This My Bourbon Podcast. I'm your host, Perry. With me this week to close out the best month of the year, to close out big-ass August. I'm so sad that it's coming to an end, but here we are, Eric Smith, the Whiskey Mutant.
Closing big-ass August. Time for big-ass August to
I'll stop the recording again.
Till next year.
Yeah.
I know my ass is big. It's big-ass August. Stop. I'll stop.
Terrific. There's a lot of singing on this show since you joined.
Yes. August.
It's coming to a close.
It is.
I'm very sad about it, but I'm not sad about all the support that we've gotten this month. It may not sound like a lot. We did have 4 new patrons, though.
That's 4 more than we had last month.
Exactly. And
that's 2 for each birthday we had.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So if you're listening, if you're watching,
Menage a quad.
Just thank you so much for supporting the show. This has been one of my favorite Augusts ever.
Yeah. It's been a great August.
Truly.
Yeah.
It has been a big ass August.
It has been a big old ass August.
If you're listening for the first time, though, or watching, I guess, if you're on the YouTube channel, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Hit the bell notification, of course, for videos on YouTube.
Smash that like.
Smash that friggin' like button.
Yeah.
That's what the kids say, right?
That's what my kids say.
Yeah, I know. Do they film, like, YouTube videos?
Dash does.
But, like, he doesn't ever really, like, put it out?
No, he has a YouTube channel.
Does he really?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's just private. It's just, like, a couple of his little friends. Because I didn't make it public yet. Because fucking weirdos.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
But leave us a 5-star rating and review. All that stuff. Follow us on social media.
Yeah.
At My Bourbon Pod. At Whiskey Mutant. But yeah, if you want to support the show too, and we really do appreciate it. We've got a new patron this week that we're going to give a little shout out to.
I saw them the other day.
At the end of the. I just saw what that bottle was. So Flying Blind's been ruined for me. I'm sorry. I didn't know that you were pulling. I just happened to look over while you were.
Do you know exactly what it is?
Well, no. But I saw the...
Well, then it's still blind.
Yeah, fair enough.
You can guess part of it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Anyway, yeah.
Patreon.
I saw him at McDonald's.
You saw her at McDonald's?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, we're doing the kiosk ordering. I'll tell you about it later.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Well, we normally start off episodes with Flying Blind or Sips and Snacks. This week it's
we got a good Sips and Snacks on the Patreon.
We did. Oh,
great pairing. I just opened this, so I have not had it either.
Whoa! That is straight up birthday cake.
Ooh, okay.
White
that's perfect,
vanilla frosting birthday cake.
You're not wrong. Oh, wow.
That's what it is. That's just straight up.
Yeah. It's almost like the batter of a birthday cake.
Yeah,
it's
for
like
sure.
In the mixer.
Yeah.
Smells just like somebody's mixing up a birthday cake.
I really like that nose.
Oh, God, I'd crush this.
It drinks like it too.
Yeah, dude. It's like vanilla. There's a little bit of grape in there, but it's kind of like right in the middle of everything. It's like a little bit of finish, a little bit of proof, but it's like pour me up like a Perry pour of this, and I'm just
100%.
I'm good to go.
Yeah, this is beginning, middle, and end of the night pour for me, or day, depending on if you're Eric and you're working.
Yeah, this is breakfast.
This is so good.
Since it's big ass August, we're gonna do another one too.
Oh boy, this is how you close out big ass August.
Give me a glass.
Okay,
we're gonna compare this to something else too, because I wanted to see how this compared.
Is this the same comparison I did with Amos and Jeff on the Moose Lounge podcast?
I don't know. I haven't listened to that episode yet.
You should. It was a really good time.
I need to.
It It's very similar.
Yeah, that's why I said let's compare them. You saw the top of the bottle, so you probably know what we're comparing this to.
Yeah. But they're almost identical.
They're close.
They're very, very close.
I think the sample I just poured is slightly more complex. There's a little bit more depth to it.
Yeah, I agree.
The sample that I just poured is one you would take a little bit slower. And then the one we had, the fresh crack that we just did, is like instant crush.
Yeah. It's got, now that I'm going back to the first one, it's got a little bit more ethanol on the nose, too.
Yeah. A little bit more vanilla comes out. But the sample is darker and more, almost has some like dark leather, a little bit more chocolate on the sample one. It's like vanilla and chocolate, like what you're comparing them to.
That second one is so good. Is the second one our pick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a little sample of it. Grab that because before I walked out the door, I was like, we got to compare these.
Yeah.
But they're both good.
They're both great, but I like ours better. No kidding.
This is
I didn't know you got one.
Yeah. ADHD. I bought that when I was on vacation and I was
Drunk.
way drunk. I forgot I even bought it.
Country Slammer.
So this is a new riff ADHD whiskey pick. Country Slammer.
So our pick for the meetup weekend was 106.4 proof. Matt's pick is 104.6 proof.
Oh my God.
That's hysterical. Spicy clover honey, flavor spicy rye and orange.
A birthday cake. It's vanilla. Tons of vanilla.
I mean, it's still a great
No, it's great.
pick.
I would get Country Slammered on this because I would drink a lot of it. But yeah, I grabbed that. It came in the mail the other day, and I was like, I'm going to do that for Flying Blind. And as I was leaving, I was like, got to compare it to the last one we picked.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Good. I like that.
Yeah,
You know what I'm going to do, though?
What? Blend them? By God. That's a great idea.
It smells good. Chocolate cake with vanilla frosting.
Yep, that would make sense.
It's 100% what it is.
Yeah,
I think the two of them blended together are better than either of them separately.
I think so.
Wow, that is so good.
Yeah. So, if you have ADHD Whiskey's Country Slammered new riff, and you have This Is My Bourbon Podcast meetup new riff pick, do a little 1-to-1 blend. See what happens, because it's good.
Do you want me to blind you on something, too?
Yeah.
Give me a glass.
Let me clean one out here. Big ass August. This is what we do.
This is how we're closing it out. I almost don't even want to do news just because.
We can save news for next time.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple of things we could probably talk about. But for the most part, I mean, I'm just happy hanging out for a
Me
week.
too.
You know?
Yeah.
Not doing anything super serious.
I think that's a good way to end it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Going through some samples.
okay. So I know nothing about this sample. It's like cornbread with cinnamon butter on it. Right in a cast iron skillet.
Yeah, it kind of does have like a smoky quality to it.
Yeah.
Almost. Kind of like you burned it a little
Just
bit.
right around the edges a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, that smells so good. Oh, wow. Oh,
I will say, this very quickly jumped to consideration for top 10 this year.
This sample?
Yeah.
So this is a new release.
This is a new release from this year.
Oh, dude. That's one of the most I'm just going to say smooth. Like it just coats and it's just like nice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like a blanket on my taste buds.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Is that a rye?
It is a rye.
Because there's right on the finish. There is.
Yeah.
You get that rye. It didn't smell like a rye.
It's like a little pop of dill pickle.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's a little rye. It's either really high rye or a rye.
It is a rye whiskey. Do you want to guess age? And proof?
It's got age, definitely. It's, I would say, 11 to 12 years old.
Okay.
Proof? 95. I mean, it's not high proof. Like, it's very, like I said, it's very comforting. It's like a blanket. Like, there's not like a big, like, hit you right in the throat finish.
Yeah.
It's like 90 to 95 proof at least.
You are right on the money with everything. 10 years old.
Oh.
92.8%.
92.
Or 92.8 proof, excuse me.
Okay. And it's a rye?
It's a rye.
What would that be? I don't know.
It's the new Michter's 10-year rye.
When you said 10, I should have said Michter's. That is good.
It's so good, man.
That's like the only 10-year release they're doing this year or something like that, right?
I think so.
Something? I don't know.
I don't remember.
This is...
They are doing their toasted sour mash whiskey this year, though.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah. There's your little bit of news. You know what we stopped doing? We completely forgot about?
What?
Your 1 ounce of news.
Oh, I got some 1 ounce of news.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have to do it this week.
There's a new Girl Scout cookie flavor coming out.
Really?
Yeah.
What
it's
is
like
it?
It's like raspberry. It's like the thin mint, like it's got chocolate in it.
Yeah.
But it's not mint, it's raspberry in it. So it's like a chocolate covered raspberry.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go.
You got to pair it with something.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. I got bad 1 ounce of news.
Hold up, though. How much of this do you have left?
None. Fuck. I just poured some. I
want to put this up when, hopefully, assuming everything goes to plan, we get BTAC. I want to put this up against like the size 18.
No, I want to do that. I definitely want to do it with the Pursuit United.
Pursuit.
Which you got to bring back, by the way.
Yeah, it's in my house. I've not drank it.
It's okay if you do.
I got a full bottle now.
Well, that's true.
I bought a full bottle for my birthday. My own little birthday present. God, this is good. I'd not resist this sample. I'd buy this.
Taking Sample Irresistible to the main feed.
So
it's really
good.
funny.
Never would have thought it was a rye on the nose.
So we do have an interview this week. We'll get to it in a little bit, and we'll wind up doing a review as well. But figure it just...
I like this.
Just hang out. It's been a minute since we've just kind of chatted and, you know,
I like it.
Not been super serious with anything. But what have you been drinking recently?
Well, this past weekend...
Not much.
Not much.
Yeah.
Had a birthday weekend, which... I'll tell you about that, and then I've had to work, so not a whole lot since then. But since we recorded, you and Swan came over, and Lucy.
Yeah.
We went and watched Dragon Ball superhero movie for my birthday. And before we went, we had a fresh... I just opened a Elijah Craig Barrel Proof B516, which was 139.4 proof, I believe. So good.
They just don't make them like they used to.
No, not even close.
So people have been, and I just reviewed. Oh, you know what? You definitely need to try.
Oh,
yeah.
Did you review that last night?
I reviewed it last night. Yeah. I'll be curious to see what you think about it compared to the B522.
Okay. Yeah, that's high standard right now for larceny.
But and it's weird because I think I'm falling into this idea too that Elijah Craig Barrel Proof really is decreasing in quality while Larceny is increasing.
I really think that the only thing keeping me excited about it has been the picks that's come out.
Yeah.
And I've not had one Elijah Craig Barrel Proof pick that's like just blown me away, but I'm excited about them. But the batches just, I don't know. But that old one we had, what you got there? My goodness, pulling out all the shit.
It's been a good couple weeks.
I see that. But
this is what happens when we don't see each other for a week.
So we had that. We had some 2021 Four Roses limited small batch.
Yeah.
Had some
Van Winkle 10.
And then if you're going to the movies with me, you're packing samples in your pocket for...
Yeah.
And we pulled out one of our favorite bottles from last year, the E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof.
Yeah.
And that's what I drank mid-movie.
Same.
And then on Sunday...
It was really good, too.
It was really good. Then on Sunday... we had a babysitter, and me and April got to go to Bardstown Bourbon Company, and I had a birth year, which is 1985, early times, which they opened right there.
Whoa!
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, they like pulled the tack strip back to try not to break it to make it look good. It was a screw top.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, unless they had it sealed, like there was not hardly anything out of that bottle. So
yeah, I've had a couple of those old early times bottles.
Yeah.
And they're really, really good.
Oh, it was so good. And it was only like 84 proof or something, but it was so buttery.
Yeah. You said it was like steakhouse.
Yeah, like
butter.
that big cinnamon butter. It was like that cinnamon and like just buttery. And so that was my pour at. I also had the Discovery 8 with.
How'd you like it?
I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I had it with their hummingbird dessert. Sometimes it's not always on the menu.
Yeah.
So if you ask, they may have some, and it's like this like pineapple cream cheese dessert.
It's really good.
Paired with the Disco 8.
Good stuff.
So good.
Yeah. Nice.
So yeah, that's that. I'll end on that note.
Well, I've been busy this week. I was on Chad and Sarah's live stream.
You were.
Because Sarah was sick. We're recording this on Friday, so by the time this comes out, it'll have been a week and a half ago. So last week's episode of the It's Bourbon Night live stream.
Impress me and kiss me or something like that.
Don't test me, impress me. Yeah. But Chad and I just went back and forth with pours, and he had not had Curly before. I blinded him with a Curly single barrel, which he really, really enjoyed.
He hadn't had it yet?
He hadn't had it yet. Yeah. Trying to think what else. I can't remember all the
What
stuff
did you
that I
take
brought over. That's what I'm saying. Is like I can't remember all the stuff
What did he give you?
brought over.
Well, obviously, what did he give you? That Michter's 10?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think I can talk about this one yet. Secret. But he also blinded me with their 1792. Oh, he blinded me with Booker's 38th. Which
talk about a impress me or test me.
He impressed the heck out of me.
I bet.
He impressed me much.
Did he give you that Booker's Rye? That's not Booker's Rye.
No. But he also blinded me with their new 1792 foolproof pick.
Nice.
Which is out of this world. I mean, genuinely might be my favorite 1792 foolproof pick I've ever had. So we'll get to that in a minute as well. I don't think we have any housekeeping to do this week. Next week, I guess we'll just be back to regular old.
No more big ass August.
It's the September slump.
September slumps. We're just sad the whole time.
Just sad, man.
We're just like, oh, Here we are back at
I wasn't even done with all the things that I've had this week. I'm sorry. I also reviewed on my live stream the Barrel Gray Label Dovetail. I reviewed Kentucky Owl Wise Man Rye. What?
No.
Oh, there's nothing left in that one.
I know, I'm still smelling it.
Oh, okay. We got a sample of the Chattanooga Bottled and Bond bourbon.
Really?
From Ben de Gagne.
Who?
Ben de Gagne.
Who's that?
He's a supporter of the show. He listens and...
Oh, yeah, I saw him at Wendy's. He loves the Wendy's chili.
Does he?
Yeah.
Wow.
He adds extra meat to it.
I think that's how you have to do it.
And he puts it on a cheeseburger.
Oh.
He gets a junior bacon cheeseburger. And
Yeah.
he makes his own secret menu up.
That's horrible.
Junior bacon chili burger.
Ugh.
He loves it.
We can't review this just yet, but the new release from William Tarr, RD1, Registered Distillery 1, here in Lexington.
Coach Stoops.
101 proof. We're going to be reviewing it soon, but
We have to.
we're under
wait on that
embargo
one. Oh.
at the moment.
Man, that gets serious when you're like that. I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah. we're being held up by Big Bourbon.
Man, I don't. Okay, larceny. See, now I'm interrupting everything right now.
That's okay.
The nose is phenomenal.
Yeah. I like the palate. I don't like it as much as the B.
I was going to say, I don't think it beats the B.
No.
Definitely beats the D.
Control yourself.
No, this is good.
Yeah. But
Larceny Barrel Proof is starting to. The batches are
they've hit their stride.
getting good, and they're. I mean, we've not had Elijah Craig Barrel Proof C9 22
No,
yet.
not yet.
I will be anxious to see. I won't make sure we save that, but I want to
Yeah.
see if I like that one better than that, because B522, I said it the other day, I think. I liked it better than Elijah Craig Barrel Proof B522. This is good. Did you rate this last night?
Yes. 12.5 out of 20.
I was going to say 12.
Yeah.
I just didn't just think
Or maybe
about
it was a 12. I don't remember
12.
for sure.
Yeah, solid. $65, I think they are. C9 22. I'd buy that for sure. I don't think it beats B522, but it's solid. Is this the highest proof?
That's the
Larceny?
highest one from this year.
126.6.
Yeah, I think it might be the highest proof, Larceny Barrel Proof.
I think it is. This one was 123.8.
Yeah. We've had a couple that have been at like 124, 125, but I don't think that we've gotten to 126 yet.
That's good.
So, yeah.
Yeah, 12 out of 20.
Yeah. But the one bottle that I was the most excited about was from our buddies at Blind Rabbits in North Carolina.
Are they the ones that did the other Elijah Craig, the pick that you were on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is their Elijah Craig barrel proof, single barrel, 129.9 proof, 8 years old.
8 years old?
8 years old. I know you said that you haven't had a pick yet that's blown you away.
They've all been good. They've just not been like, oh, this is like.
I'm telling you though.
I love all the picks.
Yeah.
8 years old. I think I've had an 8-year-old pick.
I know we have. I think the first one that we had, the one from Mash and Journey,
Was it 8?
was 8 years old.
Oh, there's that rabbit.
Dude, I'm telling you. It's money.
Snickerdoodle cookies. Very bakery. Very classic Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. It's so soft. So soft on the nose. Kind of Disney World bakery.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you.
That's good shit.
Thanks, Ted.
Confectionery sugar.
Yeah.
Funnel cake.
Yeah. I think
cinnamon.
it's very classic Elijah Craig barrel proof.
Yeah.
Just Elijah Craig in general, truly.
Oh, that's good.
It's so good.
Yeah, that's a funnel cake, and you add a little bit of cinnamon to the powdered sugar on top of it. Because it's got that kind of like pancake mix style, like fried some batter. It's really good.
Yeah. We're just going to sit here and go back and forth with boring stuff
That's
before
great.
the interview starts.
That's great.
Oh, man. It's just been a nice week of, like, getting stuff in the mail and samples and bottles and whatnot. But there's that Wise Man Rye if you want to try that.
All right, I'm going to put my Elijah Craig barrel proof to the side for a second.
This episode's called How Drunk Can We Get Eric?
And I'm going to go full-blown review on this.
Let's do it. We got another review to do after the interview.
Okay.
But
I'm in a very, everything's been really small pours, and I've really digested and dissected everything today. All right, so you had this last night.
I had that last night.
First time?
Second time.
Second time.
But the first time that I had it was just a fresh crack, and I was like,
You're just having something to drink.
yeah, because I just wanted to try it. And especially after having the Wise Man bourbon.
Okay.
I was like, how does this live up? Or how does this compare?
All right,
But-
tell me the deets about this.
95.5 rye.
Okay. Kentucky 95.
Kentucky. I'm assuming that it's from Bardstown Bourbon Company. 100.8 proof or something like that.
So straight rye, so it's at least
2.
2.
But I think it's closer to 4.
Okay.
And I didn't know this until Ethan Sterner brought it up on the live stream. But apparently the Wise Man bottles are really made more for cocktails. Do with that information what you will.
Okay. See, that's one of those things too we were talking about on the pregame chats where it's like, go in this with an open mind. Or
Yeah.
The sampling irresistible. And I want to just be like, it's whiskey. Like, you can put in a cocktail if you want, not like we're making this for cocktails.
Yeah.
But, you know, look how many bars and stuff there are that sell cocktails, and so that's a market. Okay. Very licorice.
Yeah.
You can tell it's 95.5. Very black licorice. Like, that's all I'm getting. Okay, I will say this. To be 100.8 proof and 95.5 rye, there's not a lot happening on this palate.
See, that's the thing that I had the biggest problem with. And this is what it felt very profound at the time, and I think that it is still kind of. But I think that it is less forgivable for a whiskey to be boring than it is for it to be bad.
Yeah, because at least you're like, whoa, that's like doing something, and you're like, this is crazy. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like it. This is hitting me with all this weird notes.
But here are
As
all the
opposed-
reasons that I'm
Right.
I'm
This
picking
is
up what I'm
like-
picking up.
Where's the whiskey?
There's just nothing to it.
I
And-
expected it to hit me with a bunch of just like black candy licorice on the palate based on the nose. And there's absolutely nothing.
But if like this is supposed to be made for cocktails,
It's like adding water to it.
it's not exactly. It's not for people who like spirit forward cocktails.
No,
which
that's-
I do.
That's giving somebody a reason to have 100.8 proof in their cocktail.
Yeah, exactly.
Because all the extra stuff you put in the cocktail is what's going to make the flavor. This is not going to pull through any.
No.
You put some simple syrup and some bitters in this, like, you're going to be like, hey, I love these bitters.
Yeah.
This is a sweet cocktail. This is a great old fashioned. I get the orange zest and all that from the orange. I'd get nothing from this. I mean, if you're making that to be a mixer, you did good only based on you made a mixer that's brown and it's 100.8 proof. There's nothing about that. I mean, I would get, what's the price on this?
$60.
$60.
Way too much money. It's overpriced. Especially
Old Forester rye, 100 proof.
100% go for Old Forester
$20
rye.
or whatever.
Yeah.
There's
all day,
nothing.
every day. Rittenhouse rye, Pikesville rye. There are so many better options than this whiskey.
I don't hardly get anything. A little bit of perfume, maybe.
Perfume.
I mean, like there's like that floral.
No,
note.
I know.
That's
but
it.
It's just like
that's triple gold.
Where's
in the
the
poop
beef?
category? Triple gold.
Triple gold in the poop category.
Yeah. That's way too much for $65 is way too much for this.
I gave it an 8 out of 20.
5 out of 20. There you go.
I was being generous.
I would give the nose a 2 and everything else a 3. I mean, everything else a 1 to make a 5 out of 20.
I can't remember exactly what I did.
Just because I get a big black licorice nose, I'm like, oh, it's got some notes in there.
BBL, big black licorice.
BBL, baby. Search that on Google. But yeah, this is a no for me.
Yeah, it's such a hard pass.
Yeah.
But
so what are you going to use this bottle for? It's a full bottle.
I know. I don't know. I truly don't know.
Blending, maybe?
Maybe just to have around.
Yeah.
Just
you could throw it on the cart for, people who at the end of the night they just want something 100 proof. They can't taste anything.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I mean, I might wind up using it in cocktails.
Maybe we need to put it to the cocktail test since they said it's made for cocktails.
I'm okay with doing that. I think we need to do that with the Wise Man Bourbon too. I don't want to, but I think we need to.
For content.
Two different things.
Yeah,
for sure. And I'm super happy to be welcoming to the show now, longtime friend of This My Bourbon podcast. And it's been a minute since we've caught up, but I'm very, very excited to be welcoming back the master distiller for Chicken Cock Whiskey, Mr. Gregg Snyder. Greg, great chatting with you, my friend.
Yeah, thank you, Perry. It's a pleasure to have the opportunity once again to chat with you and talk my favorite subject, whiskey.
So it's the last time that we got to talk was back in April of 2020, just as things were kind of starting to spiral in many ways, and just as we were starting to learn what the new state of things was going to be. How have the past couple of years treated you, not just with Chicken Cock, but just kind of on a personal level as well?
Yeah, well, there's been a lot of things change in my personal life, but more related to the whiskey. It's been a great ride, I tell you. The momentum for Chicken Cock whiskey is just skyrocketing.
Yeah.
Back then, I think when we talked last time, I think we were probably at about 12 to 14 states in the Southeast. And about a year and a half after that, we were in about 42 states. So it's taken off. Yeah,
I'd say so. And you can kind of tell, too, that especially if you look at the brand and just the way that everything is kind of being pushed is into this, despite the fact that some of the products can be kind of considered premium, ultra premium, depending on, what category you want to throw it into. There's very much this connectivity of it with everything that you guys are kind of putting out and making it, just making people more aware of this brand and trying to, revitalize it in many ways. Because one of the things that you had discussed with me when we first chatted back in April of 2020 was that this is actually a revival brand from Paris, Kentucky. And so, that kind of brought to mind, the more I thought about it, just this in some regards being kind of an everyman's whiskey, an everyman's brand. And it seems like you guys are kind of, despite the fact that, some things get into the couple $100s per bottle, you all are looking at trying to get more brand recognition across the spectrum.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, the Chicken Cock brand, as you alluded to, it's an old brand originating in Paris, Kentucky in 1856. But, through its history, it always had a high quality reputation. And so when my services were hired a little over 5 years ago now, I have my own consulting company.
Right.
The founder of Grain and Barrel Spirits, Marty Antela, Marty shared his vision of wanting to resurrect the brand back to Kentucky and bring it back to its high quality prominence. And basically that's what I've been working on for him for the last 5+ years now. And it's been quite successful.
Talk about too the barrels that you all have laid down at Bardstown Bourbon Company right now. When we last spoke, you said that it would be about 2024 before those products would actually see the light of day. How are those progressing?
Well, actually, the first stuff that we laid down that I was responsible for, we're actually dumping that right now.
Really?
It's actually into the current bourbon. Yeah.
Wow.
But what we were talking about, I think back in 2020. Part of what I've done and what makes Chicken Cock unique is I actually have oversight from bark to barrel to bourbon to bottle. I go to the stave mill in West Virginia Great Barrel Company, who is one of my consulting clients. And I helped them build a stave mill. I trained their employees how to quarter saw white oak, how to cut staves and heading, how to stack them, so forth. And then when they got the cooperage built, I helped them train their employees build quality barrels as well. So through that relationship, I go out a year in advance and I personally select the logs that we're going to use, and they're cut into staves and heading, and then they sit outside in the natural air dry for 10 to 12 months before the following year when I go back out and oversee the barrel production process. So the first barrels that they were able to make was in 2020. And so that's what I'm saying. Actually, from the oversight from the very beginning all the way through from bark to barrel to bourbon to bottle, that actually started in 2020. So it'll be 2024 before we see any of that. But the product, the bourbon and the rye whiskey that we have currently coming out of Bardstown Bourbon Company is phenomenal. It's delicious.
That's good to hear. And I mean, it's just, another progression that I think we've all kind of been hoping for and being witness to over the past few years as some of these brands that, whether they're cropping up all over the place in central Kentucky or just, around the corner, people are trying to revive a brand, much like you all are doing. It's just really good to hear that things are moving in the right direction, trending in the right direction, especially as things kind of became so questionable during that long span of a year and a half, 2 years almost. We're sitting right here too, talking about the newest expression of Chicken Cock. It's the Island Rooster Rum Finished Rye. I want to ask you a little bit about how this came about, but I've got a question off the back of that too. I'll just go ahead and say, what can you tell me about the initial inception of the Island Rooster Rye whiskey?
Yeah, Paris. Okay, every year, Grain and Barrel Spirits, a company that owns Chicken Cock whiskey, they try to do a couple of what we call LTOs, limited time offerings.
Yes.
Small volumes and very unique. And last year, I had a discussion with Marty about the LTOs for 2022, and I said, I really love the spicy, peppery notes of our rye whiskey. I think they're fantastic, but I think they could really be enhanced with a little sweetness. And so we talked about, the project of rum barrels. And so he agreed, and we purchased 25 rum barrels. They showed up at Bardstown Bourbon Company in May of 2021. So the day they showed up, I went down there and threw up the door on the trailer and climbed up on the trailer and pulled the bung out of every barrel to nose them, to make sure they had that nice, fresh rum smell. A lot of times containers can get stuck in a port somewhere, and those barrels can turn sour and rancid on you. But luckily, every one of these barrels was fabulous, very, very fresh, and it still had the rum flavor. So we put our rye whiskey in it, and I would check it every month. You got to be careful. One of my biggest rubs with finished whiskeys is sometimes you can let that secondary barrel overpower the base characteristics of the base whiskey. And so all you want to do is enhance it. And so I checked it every month because I didn't want to overpower it with the rum flavor, didn't want to give it too much sweetness. And then after 6 months, I said, boom, that's it. We need to dump these barrels now. I mean, it's got just the right amount of sweetness for my palate.
Yeah.
And so it was November of 2021, we actually dumped those barrels. Grain and Barrel didn't want to bottle it till the first quarter of 2022, being an LTO for 2022.
Right.
And so we just put it in a tank and held it. But what we also did is it was so good and there was so much flavor still left in those rum barrels that I refilled them with some more rum. And so we did a second round of them. And that just was recently, about a month ago, that was actually dumped. It sat in there a little bit longer, about 7 months before we were able to dump it. Because, every time you use a barrel, there's less and less to extract as far as color and flavor. But it took about 7 months to get comparable in flavor. And I'm thrilled to death. This is a fabulous, one of my favorite LTOs that we've done. I think we accomplished what we were trying to accomplish. Just enough sweetness, not too much that we overpower the spicy, peppery notes of the rye.
And that 95.5 rye does absolutely show through to here. And you're right. There is just this really nice, delicate sweetness that kind of gets added to, I wouldn't say the rough edges of the palate, because that's not quite what it is, but it does just kind of help, ease the palate onto somebody who might not be more of a high rye drinker. So like I said, this is a 95.5 rye. Is this, and apologies if you can't answer this question, but is this a Bardstown rye? Is this a Green River rye that was sourced for you all?
No, this is our rye that we produce.
It's your rye. Okay, great.
Down at Bardstown. Yeah, it's actually, it's 4-year-old rye.
Great. That's fantastic. It's nice hearing that, this is, again, your all's product and that things are kind of trending in that right direction. I want to ask about the proof too. 95 proof. Traditionally, you guys have had a lot of products that, and it's mainly, of course, your core line that have been 108. What did you guys find in the 95 proof range that you weren't finding elsewhere with something like 108?
Yeah, kind of what I do with each product. I try to find that sweet spot where you get it to the point where the alcohol burn subsides and allows all the great flavors to overtake the profile. And I do that with our bourbon, our rye. Our Kentucky Straight Bourbon whiskey is 90 proof. Our Kentucky Straight Rye whiskey is 90 proof as well. From an economics and financial perspective, you want to try to get as many bottles out of a barrel of whiskey as you can. And so,
absolutely.
We could go to 80 proof, but we're not fulfilling the goal. And one of the objectives that I agreed to when I joined on with them is to provide that high quality whiskey. And so there's a sweet spot there. Now, typically, I start at barrel proof and start knocking it down. With this one, I started low proof and then kept doing different samples at higher and higher proofs. And I did it at 86 proof, and I did it at 90 proof, and I did it at 92 proof, and I did it at 93. And all those, they were just too diluted. You really didn't have the flavors that the barrel proof, existed in the barrel proof. So, but at 95, that's when it really shined through. And, the sweetness, the flavors of the rye itself, the spicy peppery notes really shine through. So at 95 proof, that seemed to be the sweet spot for this one.
I want to talk about too for a second, because this has been a long couple of years where we've been kind of left up to our own devices, and we've been given the opportunity to test out new things or potentially even, allow ourselves to just be more exploratory as far as trying to understand what we do kind of as bourbon drinkers, and just kind of exploring new sides of ourselves as well. I want to ask you a couple of questions. What have you found kind of being in a much different place than we were in April of 2020, kind of as a whiskey producer and as a whiskey drinker? And off the back of that, too, I want to ask you, what are some of the things, because a lot of people like to ask master distillers, they like to ask the people who are at distilleries, what's next? But I'm really curious about what are some of the things that either you've been the most proud of that you've created over the past couple of years, or the things that you kind of wish had been able to make it to the market that might have just barely missed the mark for some people.
Well, that's a good question, actually. You think back, and I think we just talked about it, it takes time. If you're going to get in the bourbon industry, the whiskey industry, number one, you better have lots of financial backing, but number two, you better be patient. It takes time. And so, when we embarked with our relationship in 2017 with the Bardstown Bourbon Company, we knew it was going to take time for that whiskey to become of age.
Of course.
properly mature. So part of my responsibility in that time frame was to go out and try to find good quality whiskey that we could acquire and put under the Chicken Cock label to bridge the gap until ours became a proper age, which is coming into full view right now.
Right.
And so I guess the proudest part of it all is, I'm into my 45th year now in the industry.
And congratulations on that too. That's fantastic.
Thank you. So being able to take, the years and experience and all the great opportunities that I've had to learn from some of the greatest in the industry, and focus that on one brand and truly resurrect the brand and to bring it back to its high quality prominence. I think that's what I'm most proud of. And hopefully we continue to do that. There's so many companies out there that, again, the almighty dollar drives the decisions. And not saying that can't happen with grain and barrel spirits as well. But right now, when I committed to resurrecting the brand and bringing it back to its high quality prominence, I feel we've kind of achieved that goal, and we're going to continue it.
I have to agree, because having now tasted the progress over the past couple of years and seeing that this is in fact just as high quality as what was in my glass back in early 2020, it really does show that things are on the right, as I keep kind of reiterating throughout this interview, that things are on the right track for you all. Gregg, I got to ask you too, I'm always fascinated by what people are drinking when they're not consuming their own product. What's something that's come out over the past couple of years that you have really found yourself connected to, or something that you've been kind of holding on to a little bit stronger?
I don't know if there's been anything new. I've tried a number of different whiskeys and that, and just through my network of industry folks, and there's some great whiskeys out there. They're doing, a lot of people are doing some things right. Some are questionable from what I've been able to experience over the last 45 years. But I kind of, if I'm not drinking my whiskey, and I'm very transparent about this, one of my favorites is a product that I actually created when I was a managing director and Wild Turkey and vice president of Austin Nichols. I ask people, I do tastings, when we got time to kill, especially at dinners, whiskey dinners, and that they're trying to get the next course prepared. But I ask people, how many Russell Reserve lovers do we have out here in the crowd? And oh man, a lot of hands go up.
Me.
and so I asked them, I said, so who do you think created Russell Reserve? Was it Jimmy or was it Eddie? And a lot of people, most of them say, oh, that was Jimmy. That was Jimmy. And I said, well, that's good. But no, it was Gregg Snyder who created the brand, actually. And I created the brand, actually, as I said, shortly after I started with the company, as a tribute to Jimmy Russell. Jimmy's a dear friend, and he's the last of the true Mohicans when it comes to the guys that grew up with corn dust under their fingernails, and the old guard of Jimmy and Booker Nose and Elmer T. Lees and Parker Beam and all that great bunch that were so good to me over the years. So,
well, on that note, and we just this past week reviewed the newest Russell's 13. Have you had a chance to taste either of the Russell's 13 releases that have been out?
I have not, and I'm dying to actually. I don't get to the liquor store too often, but when I do, I go looking for it. So yeah,
sure. I don't want to spoil too much, but I'm sure that you can kind of make your own assumptions. But high marks for both releases, just absolutely fantastic whiskey still coming out of Wild Turkey, and that kind of. It's a bit of a side note, but I think it's funny to bring up that you jumped from not necessarily because you did, I believe, say in our last interview that you kind of went on retirement for a little bit before jumping back into the whiskey industry with Chicken Cock, but jumping from one bird brand to another. I don't know why I find that funny in particular, but it does kind of tickle me a little bit.
The truth is, I had never retired. I tell people I'm semi-retired.
Fair enough.
5 years ago, or a little over 5 years ago, when I picked up Grain and Barrel Spirits as a consulting client, the guys in West Virginia, and a couple other consulting clients, I just kind of shifted gears and started got out of the corporate rat race and started working for myself. So, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. I'm having fun. I'm semi-retired and having fun, and get to still work in the industry I love so much.
Yeah. One of the things that and this is a bit of a step away from whiskey, but I have to ask you about this too, because I do believe that hunting is one of your passions as well, correct?
That's right. I love to hunt and fish, and unfortunately don't have enough time to do that. But
sure. So one of the big things that, and this definitely does tie into the whiskey industry as well, because we're seeing people growing increasingly concerned with the amount of lumber that's available for oak barrels. But the topic of conservation is kind of coming into play with all that. As somebody who is not only a hunter but is also a creator of whiskey, how has conservation kind of played a role in the way that you have approached chicken cock and the production of this brand?
Well, I mean, in particular, if we're talking about white oak lumber in general, back, I worked during part of my career, I worked 12 years for Brown-Forman.
Right.
And 9 of those 12 years, I managed a cooperage operation. So I spent a lot of time, not just in the barrel manufacturing operation side, but also in the procurement of stays and heading, the stays mill, going out and with guys that knew what they were doing and looking at tracts of timber and so forth. But every year, or every month, actually, I would get a report from, it was a hardwood report, basically from the U.S. Department of Forestry. And every 5 years, they do an inventory. They actually, somehow, they go in a helicopter, whatever, over a tract of wooded area. And somehow they have a system, a calculation they can do to determine the inventory of different species of wood. And if you look back the previous 5 years, the last time they took the inventory, the inventory the amount had actually grown by 15%. And if you look back another 5 years, it had grown another 15% from the previous 5 years. So in actuality, what happens is when you cut an oak tree, okay, basically you just opened up the sky, the canopy. And now you got all these little acorns that have sprouted up. And so where one big tree was growing, now you've got, 10, 15 or more that are growing in that same kind of a footprint. And so aside from that, there still has to be concern, okay, and making sure that we are sustaining the forest. We're just not taking that for granted and saying, hey, let's just cut everything in sight. And with the boom of the whiskey industry today, there's a lot more logging going on. But I don't see that as an impact. As long as we have the awareness and sustainability, and people are consciously replanting forest, and we're just not like in the Amazon, we're just wiping out the rainforest totally.
Of course, yeah, and that I apologize. I didn't mean for that to come off as I was trying to just isolate you and speak only to saying you're doing something wrong. I didn't mean for it to come off that way, because I don't think that's the case at all. But I think it's something that we are growing increasingly aware of, just because that's how the world is operating at the moment. We have access to all this information, and we do get a little bit overloaded with it. But it is nice to hear that there is still, even within the industry, very much this awareness of what the impact of our environment is at the moment too. I know that I said I wasn't going to ask you about, that I was going to kind of skirt around it a little bit, some products that might be coming up, but I don't specifically want to ask you about that. I want to ask you about what are some of the experiments that you might have going on that you're kind of excited about, you'd like to see come to fruition with chicken cock.
The experiments are just that. They're actually some of the products that we've got coming on down the line here. But, a couple of things, we actually are starting a barrel pick program. I mean, all the places Fantastic. I've traveled in the last couple of years, every place I go, whether it's a whiskey society or a retail store or whatever, everybody wants to do a barrel pick. And unfortunately, we're so small that we can't oblige everybody. So we've got a limited number of single barrel picks that we're doing beginning of the year. And but in addition to that, should be coming out here hopefully this fall in the October, November, December time frame. We have a product coming out. It's an LTO, and it's called Chicken Cock Chanticleer. Chanticleer is French for rooster.
Fantastic.
And there's a lot of French connection there with the bourbon industry in general. And then likewise, Bourbon County was named after the Bourbon family, the ruling family of France, who was instrumental in helping the American militia defeat the British during the American Revolutionary War. And then, of course, Chicken Cock originated in Paris, Kentucky, which is the county seat of Bourbon, Kentucky. So there's a lot of French connections there. And so, but what this is, it's actually our bourbon whiskey that we finished in a cognac barrel. And it's amazing. Yeah, it's really phenomenal. It's going to be bottled at 112 proof, but it's
fantastic.
It's a butterscotch bomb. I mean, it's amazing. And there again, you got to be careful when you're finishing in a cognac barrel. Cognac is very powering, overwhelming, and so it only took 4 months to actually achieve the flavor profile that I was looking for. And so excited about that one. And then for next year's O&D, we actually started the project. We acquired some Syrah barrels out in California, mid-coast. There's a winery out there that has a fabulous Syrah wine that traded them some bourbon barrels for some wine barrels. And then when the wine barrels came, again, we put our bourbon in it. But it'll be ready, should be ready by next fall. And looking forward to that one as well.
Well, that's fantastic, Greg. I'm just so excited to see everything that's happening with Chicken Cock at the moment, and it's nice to reconnect for a little bit and chat about what's going on with you all, and to see that things are, as I've been saying, trending in the right direction for you guys. I know that we mentioned it previously on the previous episode that you were on, but where's the best place for people to find you, social media or just on the internet in general?
Yeah, well, you can go to our website, chickencockwhiskey.com. But yeah, for me personally, I'm on Instagram at CC Master Distiller. It's probably the best way to connect.
Great. Fantastic. Greg, thank you again for sitting down with me for a little while. I appreciate your time, and hope you stay safe out there, my friend.
All right, Barry. Thank you so much. Appreciate the opportunity.
No problem. Thank you.
That sounds remarkably better.
So I figured that since Greg and I talked about the Island Rooster, we should put it through its paces.
Yeah.
Actually review it.
I'm down for that.
Well. 95 proof.
Okay.
95.5 rye.
Okay. I got a good base to go off of while I just...
Yeah. And I've got to look up the price again.
That's got a great nose. It's almost like gummy worms. Like those gummy worms you get at the grocery store or like the pharmacy or something that's got that red and yellow like label on the clear bag. It's like opening that and it's like, that's gummy worms.
See, I still get some savoriness with this.
It's all sweet to me.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Very candy, very... like I said, gummy worms. But see, I think you pull out a lot more savory notes than I do.
It's true.
And I'm usually going the sweets route.
Yeah.
There's sometimes that I'll get like a salty peanut or something like that, but oh yeah, that's a fresh bag of gummy worms.
See, when I drink it, it reminds me of honey roasted peanuts.
I like that. That reminds me of a pina colada.
I mean, the rum influence is definitely there.
Yeah, there's definitely the rum influence, and it's like a slushy pina colada.
Yeah.
With gummy worm nose. And I'm down for that.
Man, it's so good.
That is great. What's the age? Like, I know it's finished in rum, but did they say?
I don't think that they put the age out. I could be wrong though. But it was finished in the rum barrels for about 6 months.
That's good.
And there were only 25 barrels of it. So very limited.
I've had some rum finished stuff recently, and then I had a rum finished Chattanooga, and they're good, but some of them are too rummy for me. Like, I'm not a big...
No, this is exactly, and this is what Greg was talking about too, that it runs that nice little play between the spiciness of the rye and the sweeter molassesier notes.
The rum is not like taking over and being like hitting you in with that rum. Like, it's right there. Like, this is a good middle ground. What proof did you say?
95.
Just crush that on the beach all day.
Are you sure?
I mean, you could.
At $200 a bottle, though?
I thought you were going to say it's like 80.
No.
Oh, man. Well, no, I would not crush a $200 bottle on the beach.
It'd be really funny, though, because, like, you know, they've got that medicinal-looking bottle for you to, like, pull that out on the beach. You're like, all right, kids, it's time for daddy's medicine. And you're just crushing this $200 bottle.
Man. That's going to get high scores all except the price. I'm sorry.
I know. California, Colorado, Florida, Georgia, Illinois, Kentucky, Massachusetts, New York, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, and Wisconsin. Availability. Like I said, $200 a bottle. I won a gold medal at San Francisco.
Nice.
You want to review it?
Yeah, I think so.
I feel like we came in like with the Patreon stuff really hot and heavy. We're like, yes! And now we got to this episode. We're like, what's up, man?
Yeah.
Hey, what's happening?
What's up?
So, nose, palate, finish, and price. Each category is out of 5. Total score out of 20. What's you giving the nose? Eric.
3.5.
I'm going 3. I think I'm missing just a little bit. Not that it's a bad nose. It's just like I need a little bit more push.
I like
on it.
It immediately makes me think of gummy worms, and it's not every day that I smell something I go, this is like the gummy worms like pop in my head. Like it's like like I said, the clear bag with the orange, yellow label. 3.5. Yeah, I'm good with that.
Palate, I think, is incredible. I think it is so well crafted, and I think it's just got that perfect balance that it needs between the rye and the rum barrels. 4.5.
I gave it a 4.
We got the same score so far.
Yeah. I don't know. It reflects the gummy characteristics, but at the same time, it's like, man, this is a pina colada. This puts me on the beach, getting a drink at the beach bar, and I'm just chilling. Like, it makes me feel comfortable, I guess I would say. So I'll say a 4.
The finish is not as long as I would like for it to be, but I think that it is just a nice extension of what's going on with the palate. 3.5.
I gave it a 2.5.
Yeah.
I think if the finish would have lasted just a little bit longer, but I know the proof is only 95. Is that what we said?
Yes. Yeah.
But if this proof would have just hit me a little bit more, I probably would have put it up. But 2.5.
Yeah. And the price. $200 is a lot. But I do think that there's a collectability to this bottle.
Yeah.
That I think is really unique. And I do think that the craft behind it works in its favor. It's not my first thing that I would pick up, but having had it, I could justify it just because I know how good it is. I'm gonna go with a 3.
I said 2.5.
Yeah.
It's good. Nothing against the taste or anything like that. It's just this tastes like something that I would crush on a beach, and I can't justify spending that much for something I would crush on a beach.
Yeah.
So,
well, my final score was a 14 out of 20.
I forgot to put my stuff in. What I say?
I had to do the math on my calculator on this one.
I want to say a 3.5.
Mm-hmm. 4, 2.5, and 2.5.
12.5.
Yeah.
I mean, that's still like, I think you get over that like 11 to 12 point mark here, and you're doing great. I just want to crush this.
I know.
And I can't justify spending that much on something that I just want to crush on vacation. You know?
What are you going to do?
I mean, but that's a good review, I think.
Yeah.
Just the price.
I know. That's just how it goes, though.
Yep, it's true.
Do you have any high proof hot takes this week?
High proof hot takes. Let's see. I want to have one.
I feel like I had something and I've lost it.
I'll just high proof hot take Swan.
Yeah, it's just... So Swan, we didn't even talk about it up top.
No, he's not here.
But Swan had to miss today because of his tummy issues.
I had a full episode planned.
Just for him.
For him. Like we talked about, if you listened, which you probably did if you're still here, we talked about doing thickened bourbon, and we were going to do Funky Nerds, which is a very special 10-bit bottle that only I have. It's a one of one. Me and Perry are well, a couple other people tried it, but me and Perry are the only ones that really appreciate it. Fuck you, Adam Terry.
He's not listening.
No, he's not. But this was going to be Swan's episode. Like, I was going to go out big ass August. Swan brought up thickening, and he brought up this and that, and he's never had Funky Nerds, but he's not here.
Yeah.
Because as a grown adult, he decided to eat some leftovers that he had no idea how they were prepared. And early tips and bits. If you don't know how somebody made leftovers,
And if you have a food allergy,
and if you are sensitive to food, you probably shouldn't eat leftovers.
or ask.
Swan. High
What
proof
are you
hot
doing?
take. You fucked up, man. Stop it. Get some help. I mean, we would have been doing some crazy stuff today. That's all, folks. See you later. Roll the music, Perry. But yeah, Swan, you started high proof hot takes, and I'm going to say you fucked up this time.
Yeah.
So
Tips and bits?
tips and bits.
We talked about Dragon Ball Super Superhero
Yes.
on the pregame chats a little bit. It's really good, especially if you're a Dragon Ball fan.
Yes.
Please,
But I
please
will
go watch
say, if you're not, and you kind of know the story, and it's something like maybe your significant other is going to go to the movies with you, and they like Dragon Ball Z, you're going to enjoy this movie. If you enjoy superhero comic book movies, this is the Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super movie for you. It's not complicated. You don't have to know a big history. All you have to know is that these people have high powers, and they power up, and they fight each other. And there's some good comedy in it, too. Some great editing and comedy moments.
That was fun.
Yes.
It was a lot of fun. Before that, the week before we saw that, I went to go see Nope, finally.
Nope equals
Really good. Dope.
yes.
Yeah, I've come around to it since I first saw it, and Eric and I have kind of talked about this off air. But it's the least like subtexty of all the Jordan Peele movies.
I think,
like there's still plenty of it there.
Yeah, I'll say something in a second. But yeah, you could watch this movie and just enjoy it for what it is and not think about anything.
Yeah.
As opposed to the other two movies, which I think you really got to be like, hold up.
Paying attention.
Yeah.
Yeah. Easily the best shot of his 3 movies as well. The cinematography is gorgeous.
So good.
So good.
I've not seen a movie shot with so many at night scenes that look so good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like usually everything's too dark. This is like, I can see everything, and we didn't even watch it in like IMAX.
I just saw it at the regular theater.
Yeah, I saw it at Cinemark in there, like plus whatever it is. But yeah, the night scenes are just fantastic.
Gorgeous. So well shot, and the sense of, and like I never had it like super aggressively, but the sense of dread throughout the movie,
you're just waiting for it.
It's just kind of like, oh, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
And there weren't a whole lot of, there was like one jump scare, I think, maybe 2.
When he's in the barn and those kids are dressed up,
I was
like, oh shit.
Yeah, I know. I was like, is this really what we're doing with the aliens?
Yeah.
And but great movie, man.
Great.
So good. I love the other 2 movies. I have a hard time ranking them between the 3, but it's kind of tied with Get Out for me. I liked Us better than I did Get Out.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Get Out is still just an absolute classic.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I will say, I was going to do a spoiler thing, but I just think everybody should watch this. I text you this, and it was like, the only negative is kind of like the Jordan Peele effect, where the last 2 movies we know we're looking at like the sub context, like what does this mean? But this movie, you can actually watch it and just be like, this is just a monster movie or a space movie or something like that. But you can turn around and dissect it, and you can bring yourself to so many conclusions.
Yeah,
you can
absolutely.
be like, this represents this represents that. Like, why is the shoe standing like that? Like, I still don't know what that one means.
I don't get that either.
Yeah,
I haven't been able to unravel that. But
there is one scene in this that is like a continuous shot that just pans around to all this chaos that has happened. That is one of my favorite shot scenes in the past, probably like 5 to 10 years. Spoiler alert.
On the TV show set?
Yes.
Yeah.
When it does the thing where it starts and it's like the side of the set, and it does that one, it just follows all the chaos that's happened after the monkey has done his stuff, and then it pans the kid, and that's one of the most...
So good, man.
Oh my God, it's so good.
I can't wait to watch it again.
It's about to be, we can stream it or rent it and buy. I bought the other 2, so I will definitely download and buy Nope.
Oh, I'll be doing the same.
It's an instant buy.
Yeah, for sure. We also finally got around to watching the Bob's Burgers movie.
I watched that.
What did you think?
I fell asleep.
Oh, come on.
I did.
So did you not enjoy it, or
it's just it seemed like a normal episode that just went too long.
That's kind of what I thought, is that it was just like a long episode.
But I was probably
really good,
tired. It's one of those shows that, like, if Eli's 11.
Some of that stuff I'm sure goes over his head.
Yeah,
anyway.
But at the same time, there's a lot of it that, like, I remember being that young and watching like South Park and different things like that. So if I watch it with him, I just want to be there if he has any questions about, like, why was that? What was that about?
What's that mean?
He was like, let's watch it. And I was like, all right. And it was probably, I hadn't slept and I was late, and like, I was enjoying it, but I did fall asleep. But it felt like just a extended episode to me.
Yeah. Anything else?
I will say She-Hulk.
Yeah. It's fun, man.
It's a big recommend for me because
it's so much fun. It just, like, It's not my favorite Marvel show that's been out. But
Have you watched the second episode?
Yeah.
I loved it.
I thought it was great.
I've heard a lot of negative reviews, but
no. No, you've heard trolls.
No. I've got direct messages from somebody we both know.
So I don't want to spoil too much. Did you catch the big Easter egg in episode 2 though?
Oh yeah. I was a different person then.
It was when she was on the website looking at the mascots. There were headlines over to the right.
Maybe I missed that one. I thought you were talking about when they referenced like he wasn't in the first.
That was hysterical. Where he said he's a completely different person, literally.
Yeah.
And she looks at the camera and goes, ha.
Yeah.
No. Do you want me to go ahead and tell you?
Yeah, tell them spoiler alert, not to listen.
Yeah, spoilers. It's not even really a big spoiler. There's a headline that reads, "Man with metal claws gets in bar fight."
No.
I'm not kidding.
I didn't see that.
I'm not kidding.
Fucking right.
It's confirmed that Wolverine is in the MCU now.
Do you know what would be the best introduction to Wolverine in the MCU? Wolverine versus Hulk.
Absolutely.
Because they could just go bonkers on that. He could be as violent as he wants because he, it's the Hulk. And that comic book is amazing, by the way.
We're in Tips and Bits.
Well, for me.
Oh. What?
Am I in my own Tips and Bits now? Am I in the Matrix? Had I started my Tips and Bits?
I thought we were kind of doing them together.
I guess so.
A little bit. You started yours because you said She-Hulk.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking you started She-Hulk, and I was like, early Tips and Bits for me.
No, you said you started She-Hulk.
Anyway,
and here we are talking about this.
Wolverine versus Hulk, great comic book.
But there is a rumor that Marvel is going to get the film rights to the Hulk so they can do solo movies for him.
I want to see that.
So, I mean, if they do,
I want to see Wolverine versus Hulk.
I would absolutely love that. But what's nice about this is that I think it kind of it erases that thing where they're just trying to fold the other universe characters into the MCU.
Yeah.
So we actually are going to get like a non-Hugh Jackman Wolverine, which I love Hugh Jackman as Logan.
Yeah,
but I want
we need the guy from Kingsman, please.
Oh, Taron Egerton?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. If that's I just want and like as much as I love Spider-Man No Way Home, the thing that its biggest sin for me is that now it's like, what do you do to introduce those villains into the MCU? Like, can you? I don't think you can.
Yeah, I don't.
But I wanted to see like his own version of Doc Ock and his own version of the Green Goblin and all those characters. And I understand why they did it. I love that movie, but I get left with that feeling of like, but like, come on, like, can't you just give me real Norman Osborn?
Yeah,
And we were so teased with, what's his name? Oh, shoot. In Amazing Spider-Man 2 as Norman.
Oh,
Chris Cooper.
Chris Cooper.
There we go. Great actor, man.
Oh, yeah.
Man, October Sky was from 1999. I didn't realize that.
That movie's awesome.
It's such a good movie.
Love that.
We had like, when I was in the elementary or middle school, they took us to the theater to watch October Sky. Happened like twice.
You watched it twice?
Yeah. Different years though. It was like 6th grade year and then 8th grade year. What?
I just went back to that Electric Barrel Proof.
Oh, it's so good, man.
Blew my mind.
Anyway.
Yeah, She-Hulk's awesome.
It's really
Don't
good.
Listen to the trolls. I loved the end of the first episode when it was like this weird court drama, and the like like the fight scene and stuff just looks so animated and like over the top. I was laughing. I loved it. I loved it. And the mid-credits, post-credits scene in the first episode is one of the greatest Marvel post-credit scenes ever.
Hands down, ever.
I'm not even going to say anything
so
about
funny.
it. You could just watch that one and be like, oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
The only other thing I will recommend is Welcome to Wrexham.
Oh, the Ryan Reynolds and
Makala. How do you say his name?
Why can't I think of it? It's Mac from
Rob.
It's Always Sunny.
It's Rob.
Rob McElhaney.
McElhaney.
Yeah.
Yes. Patrick Bourbon Noob put this in the chat, asked if anybody else was watching it, and I had watched a preview, like a little snippet of it, and I saw Rob and I saw Ryan Reynolds, and I was like, damn, like that's my man crushes right there.
Guy.
Yeah, those are my guys right there. But this is an actual documentary of them buying a soccer team, or football, if you want to be proper. Football. And
Bienvenidos a la playa de... Wait, that's beach. The football beach is what I was about to say.
The football beach. But they buy this team that is struggling, and it goes over what actually happens in like actual like soccer. Like teams can be demoted to lower leagues. It's like saying the Yankees, if they did bad one season, they're going to go play in like AAA. Teams get demoted, and as they get demoted, they lose funding, and the players don't get paid as much and all that. So they find this team that represents this small area, and that it's like everybody's just wanting this team to, like, this is their team. They've had a horrible, like, 13 years. It's like real life Ted Lasso. Yeah. Longest running team that's been in this lowest level league, and they want to get back up to like the main league. So Rob decides he wants to buy this team because he's from Philadelphia and he sees how supportive the area is to their football team. He's like, he wants to do this for the town too. Like bring the team back up, help the town and all that. So there's 2 episodes out so far as of recording, and I'm hooked after episode 2. Ryan Reynolds and Rob buy this team, and they're going to try to build this team back up to not only help the team but help the town. And it's real life documentary. So,
speaking of Rob McElhaney too, this is a very tips and bits heavy episode. We finally are getting around to watching the newest season of It's Always Sunny.
Have you watched the show he does on Apple TV? He's a video game developer.
Yeah, we started
Epic
it.
Quest.
Yeah, we started it. It's really good.
It's really good.
Yeah,
but
didn't it get canceled?
I think there's like 2 seasons. Or something. But Always Sunny is classic.
Yeah,
like perfect.
But I know, but I always forget just how insane these people are. Until we start watching it again.
The fact that there's that many seasons.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
And the fact that so much of it goes over people's heads. Because the fan base for It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, more often than not, is the people that It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia are making fun of.
Yeah. It's a good mix,
though. It's common.
There's people like that. And then there's people who like get the inside jokes and stuff, and it's like it's a good mix of like fans. So
that first episode though, where they keep they keep realizing that they're part of everything that the Trump administration was doing is so good, man. It's so funny. But Frank with his his back alley hair dyeing business, and that's how Rudy Giuliani got his hair dyed before the 4 Seasons press conference.
So good. I don't know if I could ever say there's a bad season of Always Sunny.
It's so freaking funny. There's that episode too where they go they kind of reveal how things got the way that they are for all of them, and Sweet D was actually sweet at one point.
Yeah, one point she was sweet.
Man, that's so funny. Oh my gosh.
Love it.
Anyway, I think that about does it for this episode.
Oh man, big ass August.
We're just kind of like, I feel like we're, just dragging it out as long as we can because we don't want it to be.
We don't want it to end. Dogs are dragging it out too.
It's okay, Marie. We're all crying a little bit.
Marie, yeah, we know it's the end of big ass August.
It is. This was a fun episode, though.
It was.
It was good to
You get everything in this episode.
You really do. Interview, review,
reviews,
catching up on a bunch of bottles and samples,
big tips and bits,
big old tips and bits.
I didn't even know we were in tips and bits for a second.
Yeah, that's true.
I got lost in the matrix.
Golly, the dogs are. Somebody's ringing our doorbell.
Somebody's still in your house right now.
Oh. Hey, hang on just a second. I'll be right out there. It's FedEx.
Ooh, another review.
I think I know what this is too.
Oh, it's only 1:25. We got plenty of time. Uh-oh. Fragile. Perry's dancing.
I know what this is.
What do you have?
I got a jar of dirt.
This package contains alcohol. Well, surprise, surprise, motherfuckers.
Here on This Is My Bourbon Podcast. Boop, boop, boop. Do you have any idea?
Dad, there's a new unboxing going on. Ooh, okay, let's see. We've already got Larceny from Heaven Hill. Is there another Heaven Hill release? No.
Not this one.
Okay. Barrel's sent us a bunch of stuff. Is this a full bottle of Barrel? 33? No. Which one are we on?
33.
It's Barrel. What is this? Barrel Vantage. A blend of straight bourbon whiskeys finished in Mizunara, French, and toasted American oak.
Hey, this is how you finish Big Ass August. What an episode.
A full bottle.
Look how dark it is.
Oh.
Shall we?
Wow. Let me clean my glass.
Yeah, right? Should we do this for a bonus episode?
That's a good idea.
We'll do it for the main feed.
Yeah, Big Ass August. Everybody gets a bonus episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, do you want to go ahead and end the episode?
Are we going? Yeah, we're going to do. Everybody's listening is going to get to hear this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's going to, like, on Friday,
Yeah.
this will be a bonus episode that comes out for everybody.
Perry just got a package, and I read about it, and we're going to review it. Everybody gets a Big Ass August bonus.
Everybody. You, your mom.
My mom.
Your mom's sister.
My mom doesn't have a sister.
Does she have a brother?
Yes.
Your uncle?
Uncle Bub.
Uncle Bub.
Yeah, call him Bub.
That's cool.
His real name's Harold, but I call him Bub.
I like Bub better.
Yeah, because I grew up, I thought he was my brother because my mom was really young when she had me, and I thought he was my brother, and I called him Bubby. But then I grew up and found out the real thing, but I still call him Bub. So I'm just being real with you.
Okay.
Am I taking us home?
Yeah, take us home. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Oh, I dropped the cork.
That's all right.
Where'd it go?
We got plenty of corks.
I dropped it and it just went into the oblivion.
Well, if you want to help us find more corks, you want to help us pay for corks for bottles that we drop the corks from, you can go to patreon.com.
If you want to get us out of the Elder Scrolls Oblivion portal.
/ My Bourbon Podcast. For as little as $1 a month, you can support the show. And at $5, you get all the bonus shit. I mean, there's tons of stuff, especially Big Ass August.
Yeah. We put out so much bonus stuff for the month of August.
And if you sign up, you can go back and listen to all that stuff.
And the fun thing about all that Patreon stuff, there are things that we are going to continue to do.
Yes.
That we started doing.
Oh, yeah. There's a whole news report of a Blanton's thing that there's an episode 2 coming, and believe me, you don't want to miss it because we're going to find out. We're going to find out what other places might carry Blanton's.
Science needs to know.
They need to know.
Isn't that the phrase? What's the phrase? I don't know. Take us home.
Either way, yes. Patreon.com/MyBourbonPodcast, $1 a month. Oh, shit. There's a bonus episode coming out after this. But that's for everybody.
Get through this so you can go pee. So we can get recording.
Okay. Patreon.com. Support us. If you want to send a
you don't
question,
have to go that fast.
You want to do a suggestion, you want us to do a pairing, send an email to thisismybourbonshop@gmail.com. If you want to get some shirts, anything else, some glasses, anything, go to bourbonshop.threadless.com or whiskeymutant.shopify.com. If you want to leave us a barrel rings, which is where you leave a voicemail, and we'll reply to that on air. That's a easy way for you to be on the podcast. 859-428-8253. I really want a barrel rings every week. If you're listening right now, just call it. It's a voicemail.
It's so easy.
It's a voicemail. Call 859-428-8253. Leave a voicemail saying anything, and we'll reply to it. Go to all social media at MyBourbonPod. We're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You can follow me at Whiskey Mutant on Instagram, Twitter. You can follow Perry at PRitter1792. You can follow our sick other co-host, Sick SIC. He's pooping his brains out right now. But it's at Swan TBF on Instagram. You can go to YouTube. This is My Bourbon Podcast. Perry goes live every Thursday. If I can get off work on a Thursday, which I've had to work almost every Thursday, I'll join him.
And you can also watch the video version of this.
We're on YouTube.
On YouTube.
Right now. As you're watching or listening, we're on YouTube.
I hate to interrupt you for a second, but I have to bring this up because it's making me laugh a lot. But I got on Facebook just a second ago because I have a very bad attention span if I haven't taken my medicine during the day. Somebody that we know, or I know, I guess, posted a photo. They're at Goodfellas. And
nice glasses.
Facebook has the option for automated replies now. Do you know about this?
Yeah.
And the two options that Facebook has given me for this adult woman that I don't like. First of all, I would never say this to another person.
Right.
But the
and
two
you're
options,
not going to hit you're not going to hit the option.
No.
You have the option.
But they gave me the two options of so darn cute or very nice pic.
Facebook.
Facebook's hornier than a teenage boy.
Is thirsty. Zucker thirst right now.
Thirsterberg.
Zuck me. Okay.
Zuck me, daddy.
Zuck me, daddy. That's the third option. You got to have a cheat code to get that one. Random friend that's a female. There's a pizza in her hand. Automated reply from Facebook. Zuck me, daddy.
I hate
random dude that's a friend.
I hate this so much.
Random dude that's a friend with a cocktail in his hand. Zuck me, daddy. No, Facebook. Why would you do that?
Whatever. Just...
what are we on? YouTube?
I don't know, man.
This is My Bourbon Podcast /YouTube.
Sure.
If you want to review or leave a rating, go to whatever podcast app you do. Leave a 5-star rating or a 1-star rating. We'll read it out either way. And then we have a new...
Oh, yeah, we got a new patron. Sorry. I was too busy contemplating life and why Facebook would recommend that.
Yes.
But also thinking about this barrel vantage that we... I
can't wait to get into this. But, yes, our new patron, I talked to her at McDonald's the other day.
Yes, so this is how you got her to support the show?
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. At the $5 a month tier, meaning she gets all the bonus content, all the good stuff that you're missing by not supporting the show on Patreon.
Yeah.
Pre-game chats.
Yeah.
Pours from the floor.
Yeah.
Simply irresistible.
And anything else we put out.
Anything else that we put out. Patreon.com/MyBourbonPodcast. But this is Teresa Martinez.
Teresa Martinez has been she's been a supporter of the show for a while.
She has.
She has. And she's got on Patreon. But I saw her at McDonald's the other day, and she was using the kiosk. Have you seen the kiosk at McDonald's?
I have seen them,
Yeah,
yes.
it's a big old screen. You're just touching everything. Like, very not probably COVID-friendly. But, that's the only choice we had because...
So you're telling me I shouldn't lick my hands after?
No.
So that's
I would sanitize after. But it's the only choice we had.
That's what I'm doing. When I'm licking my hands, I'm sanitizing myself.
We were both trying to get the 50-piece McNugget.
Because everybody knows that saliva is the most sanitary liquid that you can use to clean with.
Dogs saliva.
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it's humans.
Nah. Dogs.
I need to make some calls.
Yeah, you might want to go COVID test right now. I guess I need to too. Not making light of any of that. But me and Teresa were at McDonald's, and I was like, Teresa, what's up? She's like, hey, I was thinking about joining the Patreon. I was like, you should. She was like, what would you pair with a 50-piece nugget? And I said, you know what? I would pair a Penelope toasted, as long as you get a 50-piece nugget and 10 barbecue sauces.
There you go.
Yeah.
My heart sank for a second because all of a sudden it said that we had 0 patrons.
Oh, shit.
Which is much different from our almost 80.
Yeah. So she was like, for real? I was like, yes, for real. Get a bunch of barbecue sauce and 50-piece nugget and a Penelope toasted, and you'll have a great night. And she was like, you know what? Thanks. I'm definitely joining the Patreon. And she did. And I appreciate it. And she actually sends me messages on Instagram of the pairing she does. So she's pairing. She's listening to the podcast. I see her in the live chat when Perry goes live. Like,
it's true.
Be like Teresa. Support the show. Get in on the live streams. Get in on the Patreon. Get in on Instagram. All that stuff. And pair some chicken McNuggets, barbecue sauce, and Penelope toasted.
This is a heck of an episode, I'm telling you.
Big ass August.
If people weren't going to support us before now, they definitely are.
I'll send somebody some barbecue sauce and nuggets in the mail if they support the show.
Cool. All right. Well,
I will legit, if you sign up, can you send a message when you join?
Yeah.
Send a message that says, I want nuggets and barbecue sauce, and I will order chicken McNuggets and barbecue sauce and send it to you. If it takes 3 days for the nuggets to get there, I mean, that's your choice. You made that decision to ask for that, but I'll still do it. I'll put a sample in there too.
I would really love for you to send just a box with loose chicken nuggets. Just
I'll do it.
Just banging around. Yeah. Not even like in like another container. It's just
they're in there.
They're just in there, and they're just like
they're like the packaging like peanuts, but it's nuggets. You sign up for that, you'll get a full box, at least a 10-piece, some barbecue sauce, and a sample.
Just loose chicken nuggets in a box.
I'm not recommending you eat the nuggets, especially if you live across country. But if you do that and send the message, and Perry says, "Hey, this person said,
that's so funny.
I want the mutant McNugget meal. I want the mutant McNugget meal." That's what you're going to get.
The fries are in there too.
Yeah, I'll do fries.
Bouncing around.
It's cheaper to do the full meal, so you'll get fries too. I'll drink the Diet Coke.
Oh, that is so funny. You're not going to send them the drink?
No, that would leak. You get fries, nuggets, and a sample. I get the Diet Coke, and you support us on Patreon. So.
Oh, that is so funny.
Just you got to put it in the message or whatever. Or you got to send Perry a direct message, so I know who to send it to.
All right. Well,
big ass August.
That does it for this week. We'll see you guys.
See you on the bonus episode.
See
we got a review.
Episode. See you in September. See you next week. Until then, I'm Barry.
I'm Eric. This is my Bourbon Podcast.
This is my Bourbon Podcast.
Oh. Oh, shit.